So this is for journaling purposes for me to remember, because there's been so much stuff coming in lately that you forget it. It connects dots, but then they're connecting more dots tomorrow, and that is what the world and the alignment is doing right now. But what I have realized and what I keep seeing and what I keep researching back into history for is they keep showing me, if we pretend this life, this human experience was a game. Sorry, big dog's drinking. If we pretend it was a game, in a game, we learn lessons on how to get to the next level after we die a few times or feel pain. We have partners come in and help us beat a level. We are wanting to make it to the next level. In life, what we have been taught and what people have forgot to teach us from our ancestors, because it's been taken out of all of our documentation and all of that, is that sacred geometry, if you've ever heard about that, how everything lines up in perfect alignment and it's all a mathematical equation, all of that. Everything in this world is supposed to be you, me, and community, meaning every choice you make is for the highest good of the collective, your community. It's never going to hurt someone else for your decision. It's not meant to go on the backs of somebody else. So your growth should not be because you hurt someone else to get there. If you did, you're going to have a karmic lesson that's not so great to make it to that next level. Otherwise, you, me, and community means we share our lessons. We don't keep them inside so that our head can make it so big, the pain's so big and so scary that we're never willing to do it again. Because the difference is how many times in that game do you have to die sometimes to make it to the next level? How many times do you have to remember that the boogeyman's around that corner? How many times do you have to remember that you're so good that you're going to beat this level and you're going to be the number one person? You have to have faith and believe and be willing to die and feel pain and have it suck to learn again and waste time and start over to hit the same point, to have learned that lesson, to keep going. Why do we think life is any different? Why do we think life is happening to us and not for us? Did you ever think that maybe life is happening to us to have us pay attention to certain things so that we don't keep dying at that same level? So that we can actually be climbing a ladder to win the game. To be in the most pure bliss that you can be. Why do we think it's any different? Stop. And what we need to remember, they've separated parts is what I'm figuring out. Because if we go back through history, every church is established based on us being spiritual beings that came down here, right? So we're spiritual beings that came down here to have a human experience. The human experience is the game. So, for example, if I think of my life or anybody's life, you're in a horrible marriage or whatever it is. If you're leaving or whatever, or contemplating leaving that marriage, you're dreaming about a better love, better life, and what you deserve. So that goes for any goals. We have the goal of is good for the community and collective and everybody, and not hurting anyone. So it's community, you, and me. So you tell somebody else your goals and what you deserve so that you can get their perspective, which keeps you out of your head, which helps keep you realistic, which helps keep you unblind, which helps have you have another perspective of somebody else's lessons, feelings, and everything else. But you have to trust, which is spirit. We're trusting in something bigger. We're trusting that we deserve it. We're trusting in the process that it is happening to us and for us for a reason. We're trusting that we know we deserve it. So if we're trusting in that, then we also have action. When we do a goal, we have to take action. That's part of the formula. And what we've done in the past is like do dream boards or whatever it is, dream big, and then people will look at it and not take action. Because the action's the scary part. It's doing the game again from level 1, starting over. So if you left your marriage, for example, and you knew you left it for a reason to be better and all of that stuff, the first person you date, they scare the fuck out of you and you run. Or you ghost them or whatever. What we forget is you're starting over. That means you're learning how to trust yourself again like a baby, because the only reason you were in that marriage is because we stopped listening to ourselves. We put somebody else's wants and needs above ours. And then we get to this position where you could choose to blame them for anything that happened, or you could choose to remember that you chose to stay there, whether it was for hope of potential, whether it was they were giving you breadcrumbs of changing. The difference is you chose it. There is no blame in this world, because our dream action, like if you're willing to do your dream and take the action for it, and you know what you're worth and you know what you deserve, then there is no blame, because you do the action, even if it's scary, knowing what you're worth. But we go into a new relationship and expect it to be what we dreamed. But the difference is we had never had that before. So of course that would be scary. We didn't do any of the baby steps to get there. So we punish anybody in the middle and we expect it to be better. You have to climb up the ladder. You have to attract in the exact same thing you just left to now learn the process of that level to make it to that dream. Which means if you were calling in a soulmate and you just came out of an abusive relationship, don't you think that there's a gap that you have to learn through and choose you through to achieve that? So just remember, you're either dating a lot of people in between to learn those lessons, or you're choosing to learn them with one person, but you are holding them accountable to be climbing the ladder with you, or you choose out. That is your choice again, because there is no blame. So if you start dating a narcissist right after, because we go right back into blinders because we're scared to be alone, that's your choice to not choose you. We have to build ourselves a new foundation based upon ourselves, not anyone else's influence, based upon what we want, what we believe we deserve. Have trust that it's out there. Because when you have trust and you have a goal, that is a proven fact with quantum physics, that we attract in exactly what we believe. So think about that. If we believe all men suck, if we believe all men are out to hurt us, if we believe that we don't deserve love, if we believe that we're broken, if we believe that we're ugly, we will attract in all the pieces to confirm that. We will attract in people that will confirm exactly what you're asking for. It's like they put little pieces of this throughout our history, even down to our kids' movies. It's like a genie in a bottle. When you wish for something, they say wish very specifically, because if you wish for $1 million, it might be like your inheritance because you didn't wish exactly. Are we wishing for us to be whole and seen and loved in our next relationship? That means you need to find that before you hit your next relationship. That means you have to be willing to be uncomfortable, to have those conversations. That means you have to be willing to say, what else do I need to see to heal, to be able to make it to the next level? That is digging in deep to figure it out. That is researching it. That is learning a game, to know how to play the game, to know how to beat the game. Even though life, we don't necessarily beat it, but we know the game so well that we know what the next step is. So, when we're unhealed, we have daddy issues, mommy issues, whatever it is. If we have broken pieces of us, we will keep attracting in the same thing over and over and over. And so then you're able to blame and say, all men are this way. But that's your belief you're putting out into the world. That is quantum physics, a proven fact of like, that is what it will attract into you. That is why they taught us that, you know, think good things and love yourself first, but they didn't mention that that is like the most important thing, because if you have holes, everything is a yin and yang. Everything has a negative and positive aspect. So if we are a 70-30 split of like being whole in ourselves, we're going to attract the other pieces that test that to make us whole, because we're asking for that dream life at the end. Do you